Okay, here we go. Okay, Bruchim Aba'im, welcome to the Yitzchok Rottenstein Shiur once again on Tuesday night in Mesechta Megilah. And here we go with our screen share of Mesechta Megilah. And we're on Dalet Amud Aleph.
Rabbi David Beck is on. David Beck is on.
Bruchim Aba'im, welcome. And we are on Dalet Amud Aleph over here. We'll enlarge this just a little bit more, okay? And we're, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lines from the top, third word.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Omar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. That's where we're.
Yeah, I have that. Okay, good.
Okay. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, in the last blot or two, has been making a lot of statements having to do with.
Oh, exactly, Shama.
Yeah, I said the Zeichen Ishmas Yitzchok ben Nisan Eliezer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Zeichen Ishmas Yitzchok ben Nisan Eliezer. And Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi has been making a lot of statements in the last blot that we started with on Gimel Amud Beis. And today, he's making a statement that has import for the upcoming Yom Tov of Purim and Halacha L'Maisa. V'Omer Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. And Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says, in addition, the following law. I just want to turn my phone off so it doesn't bother us and nobody calling me. I forgot to do that before. Okay, now it's off. Okay. V'Omer Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. And Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi said, Noshim chayavos b'mikra Megilah. Women are chayav in the mitzvah of reading the Megilah. Now that's a very powerful and unusual statement because
mitzvah zezman grama.
Of the Megilah is a mitzvah shazman grama. It's a positive commandment which is caused by time. And even though it's not a deoraisa, and all the deoraisa mitzvahs are bound by time, that are positive, women are pater from. But whenever Chazal made a mitzvah in the Rabbanon language, and they assigned it to the Jewish people, ke'ein deoraisa tikun. We say that they assigned it in the same way that the deoraisa law was applied. So if the deoraisa law is that women are pater from Zman Grama, then that means that when it comes to Rabbanon, they're also pater from mitzvah sasei shazman grama. So why is it that Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi is coming along and saying that Noshim chayavos b'mikra Megilah? So the Gemara answers, I'll tell you why. And this Gemara is repeated a number of times in Shas, twice besides this at least, once in reference to Hanukkah, and once in reference to Pesach. It says, She'af hein hayu ba'oso anes, because they were also involved in that same miracle. The Gemara in Pesachim, when it mentions this, it says that they were also involved in the miracle, v'chein b'Chanukah, v'chein b'Purim. Now, on Pesach, when it says that they were also involved with the Nes, and therefore they're chayiv, what law is it that the women are chayiv in on Pesach that comes about midrabanan because she'af ein hayu ba'osa hanes? Which halacha are we talking about? We're talking about the halacha of
Mitzrayim, matzah.
Well, Sipa Yitzis Mitzrayim is midoraisa.
Oh,
right.
Rabbanan, arbakosos.
Oh, arbakosos. There we go. So it says that women are chayiv in the arbakosos, and the arbakosos are a mitzvah dira banan. The arbakosos are mitzvah dira banan. The matzah and Sipa Yitzis Mitzrayim, those are the only two that are at the Seder that are a chiyuv d'oraisa. While moror and arba kosos are chiyuvim d'rabanan. So here, the Gemara is telling us that women are chayiv b'mikra Megilah she'af ein hayu ba'oso hanes, because they were also involved in that miracle. Okay, so we're gonna spend a little time on this one line of Gemorah to try to explain what's going on. Let's take a look first at the Rashi. Rashi over here says, follow my hand, it's right here on the Rashi. I'm going to raise it up a little bit so everybody can see it. She'af hein hayu ba'oso hanes, because they were also involved in that miracle. Says Rashi, she'af al hanoshim gozar Haman, because also against the women, Haman made a gezerah, lahashmid laharogu la'abed, to destroy and kill and make lost minar va'ad zaken taf v'noshin, children to elders, the babies and the women. So in other words, when it says she'af hein hayu ba'oso hanes, Rashi is immediately jumping on what it means that they were involved in that nace. It means that they were involved in the decree to be killed. And therefore, since they were saved, they are also chayiv in the Mikra Megilah. So Noshim chayav is Mikra Megilah, she'af ein hayu ba'oso hanes. Now, what does she'af ein hayu ba'oso hanes mean? What does the word she'af mean?
Even.
That even. They were also involved. She'af ein, they were also involved. Af here means also, right? Even they were, meaning also they were involved in that miracle. Okay, we're going to learn the Tosfos over here. Noshim chayav is Mikra Megilah. There are two Tosfos in over here that we got to deal with. And we're going to deal with them as part of the Shiur today to understand this one line of Gemorah. The first Tosfos, Noshim chayav is Mikra Megilah. Let's focus on this particular Tosfos. Can you all see it? Shall I make it a little larger?
Good.
We'll make it a little larger. Okay. Noshim chayav is Mikra Megilah. It's on the left, from the top down. It's the third Tosfos down if you have a Gemorah in front of you, right?
Yes, I see the Tosfos.
Noshim chayavos v'mikra Megilah. Mikan mashma. From here, it's evident. Sha'anoshim motzios es acherim yedei chavosam. From here, it's evident that women can even fulfill others their responsibility to hear the Megilah. Because the language of the Gemorah of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi was that Noshim chayavos b'mikra Megilah, that women are chayiv in the reading of the Megilah. It would seem from this line that if women are chayiv in the reading of the Megilah and men are chayiv in the reading of the Megilah, that women would be allowed to be motzi the men with the reading of the Megilah, because they are the same as the men, because the men are chayiv and the women are chayiv. And we have a rule generally, when whoever is chayiv in a mitzvah can be motzi the other person with the mitzvah. So that would seem to mean over here that women could be motzi men with the reading of the Megilah. And that's what Tosfos is saying in the first line.
By Kiddush, a woman could be motzi a man?
We're only reading the first line of Tosfos. We didn't get to the maskana. We didn't get to the halacha. What we're doing is going through the process of analyzing this sentence and seeing if the proposal that we would normally come up with based on this line of the Megilah is actually held true. So Tosfos begins by telling us, Mikan mashma, from here it seems, and Tosfos is emphasizing Mikan, from here, even the way Tosfos writes it, you already get the impression, well, wait a minute, this might not be the case, right? Because what's he saying? From here it seems, implying that maybe from other places it doesn't seem. But let's take a look at the Tosfos language. Mikan mashma, that women can be motzi others their requirement. It doesn't say that women are chayiv in hearing the Megilah. What does it say? Women are chayiv b'mikra Megilah. Interesting. If women were only chayiv in hearing it, it wouldn't say Noshim chayavos b'mikra Megilah. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi would have said mishma noshim chayavos, right? Lishmoa mikra Megillah, to hear the reading of the Megillah. Didn't say that. Didn't say women are chayim in hearing. It said women are chayim in the reading of the Megillah. When it says that women are chayim in the reading of the Megillah, it would imply, it would seem to imply anyway, that women can be motzi acherim yedei chavasim. Women can fulfill other people's obligation, including men. Including men. Yep. That's what it would seem. Says the Tosfos further. In fact, the same thing seems to be implied from the Gemara in Erechin. The Ka'amar, because over there it says the following line: Akol Sherim Likro Es HaMegillah. All are kosher to read the Megillah. If all are kosher to read the Megillah, that means women could read the Megillah, men can read the Megillah, and therefore women can be motzi men with their chiyuv. Umasik, and the conclusion over there in the Gemara is Akol Ksherim Lasu Yemai. What do you have to say the word Akol? Everyone is chayiv. What's it including? Lasu Yemai Umishani. Over there, the Gemara answers and says Lasu Ye Nashim, to include women, that even women are chayiv in the reading of the Megillah. Mashma, and that would seem to imply lahotzi afilu anashim. That would seem to imply that not only are women chayiv in the reading of the Megillah, but they could even be motzi men who are also chayiv in the reading of the Megillah. Okay, so the first part of Tosfos seems to hint to the point, even though it's obvious that Tosfos is hinting that's not that case, by saying it's evident from here, but it doesn't mean that it's evident everywhere, that there is a place to say that women could be motzi men with the reading of the Megillah. But now Tosfos is going to reject that. Tosfos comes along and he says, V'kosher. However, this is very difficult. Well, now, why is that so difficult? So Tosfos explains. Tosefta, Hani, in the Tosefta, we learn the Tosefta is a brisa. The Tosefta is one of the brises on the Mesechta Megilah. And it says in the Tosefta, the Kosher, the Tosefta, Tani Behedya, in the Tosefta, it's openly stated. Now we're going to go off topic for a second, but we're going to come right back. The Tumtum Ein Motzi Es. All right, now there are two types of individuals that are not in the category of either male, zohar, or nekeva, female, neither nashim nor anashim, they're neither men nor women, but they're a mixture of the two. One is a tumtum, which comes from the word which implies stuffed up, like Tamei oznayim, ears that are stuffed, you can't hear, or where it talks about metamte mes halev, where the heart is stuffed up and it can't be opened. So a tumtum is an individual who is born without a clear gender. That means in the place where normally the genitals of a person would be evident and you could tell whether it was a male or a female, there is no sign outwardly of what this baby is. A baby was born with no obvious genitalia, and consequently, it's everything is inside. Everything is inside the body. There is no opening that you can tell whether it's a male or a female. That's a tumtum. And there, the Gemara says, the kasha, the Tosefta, Tani, Behedya, in the Brisa, it's openly stated, the tumtum ein motzi, a tumtum who grows up and is not of a clear gender, ein motzi, he can't fulfill the responsibility to hear the Megillah, lo esmino, not another tumtum, velo she'ein bino, and not someone who's a male or a female. There's a male, there's a female, there's a tumtum. A male is a clear male, a female is a clear female. A tumtum, we don't know what it is because it's hidden. And since it's hidden, We don't know what it is. Tell me X-rays, but you can't tell from outward appearance. So we go by outward appearance in this particular case, right? So he can't fulfill the responsibility to hear the Megilah, neither himself. Well, he can fulfill himself, but he can't be motzi another tumtum.
Why?
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, because what is a tumtum? A tumtum means we don't know what he is, right?
Yeah.
So now, if there's another tumtum, what is that other tumtum? A male or a female?
Same as him, no?
No, but we don't know. Maybe underneath.
Oh, one could be a female, one could be a male.
There you go.
Oh.
Because we can't tell by a tumtum which one he is, right? So he can't be motzi his own min, because maybe his own min is the opposite of what he is or she is, right? And so that's why it says over there, lo es mino v'lo she'eno mino. It can't be motzi a zochar because maybe it's in a keva, right? It can't be motzi another nekeva because maybe it's a zochar. It can't be motzi a tumtum because we don't know what that other tumtum is, which one it is, okay? However, there's another being that's the opposite of a tumtum, and that's called an androgynous.
Right, that's both.
An androgynous is someone who has both signs, both of a male and of a female. And it says there, the androgynous, however, an androgynous, right? Androgynous, motzi esmino. He can fulfill another androgynous. However, the ein motzi eshe'ein mino. But he can't be motzi a male or female because we don't know which is dominant by him. By an androgynous, since he has both, and there's another androgynous that has both, so he can be motzi the other androgynous, but he can't be motzi an ish because maybe the ish is not the dominant. He can't be motzi an isha because maybe the isha is not the dominant, but he can be motzi another androgynous. Okay, now Tosfos is bringing his raya. Upshita de lo adifa isha me androgynous. Wait a minute. An androgynous is definitely got male sources. Consequently, the androgynous, okay, he can't be motzi she'eno mino, but he can be motzi his own min. But a isha can't be worse than him, and since an androgynous cannot be motzi anyone but his own min, right? So therefore, since an androgynous cannot be motzi someone who's not his own min, and he's got both, an isha certainly cannot be motzi a man because she doesn't have both.
Right.
So therefore, there's no question about it. That's the question over here. Tosfos is asking. However, the androgynous motzi esmino ve'ein motzi she'emino upshita de lo adifa isha me androgynous. You can't tell me a woman is better than androgynous. An androgynous can't be motzi a man, even though he's got signs of a male. So a woman who doesn't have signs of a male certainly cannot be motzi a male, right? Certainly cannot. So how can our Gemorah seem to say that Nashim Chayavas with Mikvah Megilah, that women are chayav in the Mikvah Megilah, and therefore, since they're chayav in the Mikvah Megilah, they can be motzi, it seems, it's mashma, it would seem that they can be motzi another who is chayav in Mikvah Megilah, and that would mean she can even be motzi a man. But Tosfos is being a raya, if an androgynous cannot be motzi a man, then an isha certainly could not be motzi a man. And even though an androgynous has male signs, he can't be motzi the another man. Is certainly not better than the androgynous. If the androgynous can't be motzi a man, then the isha certainly cannot be motzi a man. You understand Tosfos?
Yeah.
So Tosfos started out by saying at the beginning, Mikan mashma she'hanashim motzias as acheri de'chavasa. He started out by saying it seems to imply that women can be motzi others. But now I prove from the androgynous, because an androgynous is not motzi she'ein mino pshita de lo adifa isha androgynous. A woman is no better than androgynous because at least an androgynous had signs of a male, but he can't be motzi another male. An isha certainly can't be motzi a male. So even though our Gemara seems to imply from Rabbi Shiur lady that a woman could be motzi a man, it's clear that's not so, because we have a brisa which says an androgynous cannot be motzi a male. V'chein posku ha'halachas gedolos, and so it's asking in the book, the Sefer known as Halachas Gedolos, the Isha Motzia Mina, that a woman reading the Megillah is allowed to be Motzi another woman. However, Avalo Anoshim. But a woman cannot be Motzi men in the reading of the Megillah. So in Tosfos over here, it would seem that women can read the Megillah for other women. Now, is that halacha l'maisa? Tosfos seems to say women can be motzi other women. But does that mean that there should be women's minyanim where a woman reads the Megillah for many women? It would seem from this Tosfos that that's acceptable. That's what it would seem like. Because Tosfos says, right, at the halachas of those paskins, the isha motziyim mina avalo anoshim. She can be motzi someone who's hermin, meaning a woman, but not men. All right. The question is if you can extrapolate and say many women also. We'll come to that later. Okay. So we have the question now. We have a question. Our question is on the Gemorah. The Gemorah seems to say Noshim Achayev in Megillah, and it's impossible to be. V'yesh Shlomo. So how do we answer this question? The answer is this. The Sal Kedaitach, the lo yoel kriyosan afil lohotzi hanoshim. I want to tell you that the reason Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi made this statement, because you would think that women couldn't even be motzi other women. That's what you would think. Kamash malon the chayovin. I want you to know that they personally are chayiv. Da'akol chayovin b'shmiya avodim noshim uktanim. Everyone is chayiv in listening to the Megillah. Everyone's chayiv. Now, if you take a look at the brachos of the Megillah, right, you'll see that there is a difference. And let me see if I can get here a copy of the brachos in the Megillah, usually in the end of Sefer Shmos or Sefer Vayikra, where they have the.
Let me ask one quick question.
Before you get the question, let me just get to the halacha on this particular thing, and then we'll get to the what I pick up here. Vayikra. Give me a moment. We'll get to the brachos of Mikra Megillah. Back over here. And before the reading of the Megillah, we say 3 brachos. Okay? The first bracha that is said in the shul when the Megillah is read is Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvosav etzivanu al mikra Megillah. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. The second bracha is Sha'as and Yisrael Lavasena Vayohem Vazman Azeh. The third bracha, of course, is She'achiyana V'kimana V'yina Azman Azeh. What do you say when you're reading? When you're reading for women the Megillah? First of all, who says the bracha? Does a man say the bracha, or do the women say the bracha? Let's say the man already was Yotzei with the mitzvah of Megillah. Does he repeat the same bracha, Asher Kedushanim Mitzosav Tzivanu Al Mikra Megillah? Or do the women who are listening, are they going to say the bracha? And are they going to say the exact same bracha? Or are they going to say a little bit of a different bracha?
Say by shofar, no? Emotion for women, make it like
Well, women are not chayiv in the listening to
shofar. Oh.
Are women chayiv in the mitzvah of shofar?
No.
No. Right. Right. But here they're chayiv in the hearing of the because we have a special reason. What's that? That's the next post. Okay, so there are many poskim that say that when you read for women, you don't say the bracha v'tzivanu al mikra Megilah, unless the man is reading it. But the women say l'shmoa mikra Megilah, to hear the reading of the Megilah. Because Tosfos pointed out over here that women should, it says a woman can be mostly another woman. It doesn't say you should do it. Okay? And we would think that you couldn't even read it for them. Therefore, it says Hakol Chayovin, but the bracha is, according to some posting, a different bracha. Okay. Now, we had a question. Somebody was asking a question, yeah? Who had a question?
I did.
Yes.
Is Kriyas Torah is the
What? Kriyas Torah?
Kriyas Torah is the Raisa, or is that Locha? What
do you mean? Is it the Raisa?
Listening to listen to Kriyas Torah.
The reading of the Torah is learning of the Torah. And
right.
learning of the Torah is the Bar Tabav. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa.
And women are not mechiv in that.
No, they're not. Women are, it says, V'limadatem osam es b'neichem. You have to teach the Torah to your sons. And the Gemorah learns out, b'neichem v'lo b'noseichem. Women are not chayiv in the limud HaTorah. Now be careful, be very careful, because it doesn't mean that women don't have to know anything. That's not what it's saying. We're talking here about
women need to be
going to yeshiva and sitting and learning Torah all day. Women are required to, just like every other Jew, is required to know how to keep the mitzvahs. And if you don't learn them, how are you going to keep them? So when it talks about it's not talking about knowing how to keep the mitzvahs. The Chafetz Chaim, who was instrumental in helping Sarah Schneer set up the Beis Yaakov movement to educate women and allowed it, is because it used to be that a woman was educated in the home in the saying of brachas and the kashering of chickens and all other things that have to do with maintaining a Jewish home. And you can't go and say, oh, Rabbi Snow, oh, there you go. Look what you did to the women. You told them they have to be in the kitchen to know how to kasher chickens. Oh, Rabbi, you're a male chauvinist, whatever. They call them over there. We'll make a male chauvinist lamb because, it's a kosher animal. Right? But what kind of business? That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're doing over here. What we're doing over here is we're saying that if a woman is going to sit and learn Torah all day, and I once explained this, very interesting. I had a student of mine who went to Michigan State University, okay? I told him to go to Yeshiva University. He didn't want to listen. He went to Michigan State University. So they're a liberal college. And he calls me up one day and he says to me, he says, what's this business? Women are allowed to learn Torah. What are we, a bunch of male chauvinists? I said, excuse me, you're involved in college and you're spending your whole life trying to get a degree. I said, imagine you're sitting and learning Torah and the Torah grabbed you in such a deep way, which it's supposed to do. We have a hagisa b'yom v'layla. All you wanted to do was sit and learn Torah all day and all night. What's going to happen to the Jewish home? There won't be any children. There won't be any family. She's going to sit in kollel all day and learn Torah? And what's going to happen? There's not going to be any life. All Jewish life's going to stop. What are you kidding? Hashem knows what he's doing. Hashem gave the women the responsibility to raise the next generation of the Jewish people. They can't sit and learn Torah all day. In fact, what happens when a woman has a baby and she wants to daven shacharis? Is she allowed to daven shacharis and say to the baby, you'll have to wait for your bottle. I'll take care of you in a few minutes. I don't want to miss this man Kriya Shema. What's that kid going to grow up with? That child is going to be deprived. What do you mean? Every time I wanted to eat something, you told me you got to go daven. There's not going to be any love for the mitzvahs that way. Hashem made it, and he understood that there's got to be a love of Torah that's in the family, and that the male who is the responsible one to learn Torah is doing it day and night, so everybody sees the chashivas of it, but don't think the women are chayiv to learn what they have to learn. They have to know all the things they have to learn. And I'll go a step further. All of Jewish life is predicated upon the woman. All of it. Let me ask you something. If you come into the kitchen in my house, who says that everything in that kitchen is kosher? What do you think? I go shopping. You think I make the food? Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky was once asked. He served something to his wife. Served something to somebody. So the person asked, Rabbi Kamenetsky, you're allowed to eat this? It's kosher. This brand of whatever. So Rabbi Yaakov said, "What are you asking me for? She's the mashgiach in the kitchen. She's the one. The whole Jewish life is dependent upon the word of a woman who says, I'm a nida, I'm not a nida. It's kosher, it's not kosher. It's basar, it's chalav, it's parav. The whole Jewish life is dependent upon the lady. So what are you telling me that there's male chauvinism? Without the women, there's nothing. So it's just that people don't understand. They're using Western values in which to describe what's going on at home. Okay, so let's get back to our Gemara. We say here, Kol Chayovim b'shmiyah avodim noshim, right, and ketanim. Now let's go to the next tosis. The Gemara, when it said that women are chayiv in the mikveh Megilah, they gave a reason. What was the reason? Sha'af ein hoyu ba'osa hanes. And we translated, Sha'af ein hoyu ba'osa hanes means they were also involved in that miracle, right?
Right.
Are you with me? Right? Yeah. Okay. Tosfos quotes the Rashbam. Rashbam is in Psachim. Perish Rashbam. She'iker hanes haya al yadon. The Rashbam gives a different perish than the Rashi that we learned over here, who says they were involved in the decree of being destroyed. But the Tosfos gives a reason of the Rashbam that she'iker hanes haya al yadon, that the main miracle happened through the hands of the women. Bepurim al yedei Esther, right? Are you with me on this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Purim through Esther. Bechanukah al yedei Yehudis.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What was the thing with Yehudis? That in Chanukah they made a decree that all the women who wanted to get married had to first allow herself to be abused by the king. And Yehuda said, okay, come over tonight. I'll make a dinner. We'll have a party. And she got him drunk and he lost his head over her.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. Yeah. She chopped off his head, right? So Yehudis was the one who brought about that particular miracle. And Pesach, right? On Pesach, the reason that the Chayiv and the Dalit Kosos is because Shebizchus Tzidkonios Sheba'oso Ador, because of the righteous women of that generation, Nigalu, they were redeemed from Mitzrayim, because the women were the zechus that gave birth to the children. The pasuk in Shiur says, "Tachas hatu tapuach orachich," you awakened me beneath the apple orchards, because the women would go out to the fields to live with their husbands privately, because the Egyptians were checking the houses if there were any newborn babies, and they would take the newborn babies and throw them in the river. So the women would have the children out in the fields, and in the fields, the malachim would take care of the babies. And it's because of these righteous women that the Jewish people were redeemed. Therefore, the Chayiv and the Dalit Kosos. Okay, so now Tosfos is going to debate the Rashbam's statement. How did the Rashbam translate Sha'afein Hoyu Ba'oso Hanes, that they were also involved in that miracle? What were they involved in? How were they involved in the miracle, according to the Rashbam? Simple. They were the ones who brought about the miracle. In Purim, it was Esther. On Chanukah, it was Yehudis. On Pesach, it was all the righteous women. So the women were not also involved, not secondarily involved. They were the main cause of the redemption. Okay, asks Tosfos, because if that's the case, the lashon she'afhein mashma, the lashon, these two words, afhein, the lashon of also they imply she'hein tfelos, that they were tuffle. Tuffle means they were secondary. Oh, they were also involved. They were also. What do you mean they were also? According to Rashbam, there was no also. According to Rashbam, they were the main reason. So why does it say they were also? I don't like that lashon, says Tosfos. Ula Perusho, Hoyolo Lomar, according to his Perush, it should have said, Shehein, not She'afein, Hoyu Ba'oso Anes. Shehein Hoyu Ba'oso Anes. The af is throwing me off. Af means also. Also means secondary. They weren't secondary, they were primary. Lekach nirali. Therefore, Tosfos says, it appears to me, she'af ein hayu b'safek. When it says af ein, they also, it meant they were also in the question of the lahashmid v'laro. Just like hold that place right over there, look at it, and we're going to go right over here to the Rashi over here, which we read. And here Tosfos is exactly the same thing. Okay, so now it's now I understand why it's she'af hein, because they were also decreed to be killed, just like the men were, and that's the af. Okay. Now Tosfos has another question. Okay. What are the mitzvahs of Pesach that women are chayav in? So the Dalet Kosos, he said, is midrabanan, right?
Right.
What are the two d'oraisa mitzvahs?
Matzah and the.
Okay. What about matzah?
Yes.
Are women chayiv in matzah? Sha'afein hoyu ba'oso hanes?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the chayiv because it's a mitzvah eat matzahs.
Okay. So Tosfos is raising the issue now. Gabe matzah, yesh maksha. By matzah, you could ask the following question: Lama li akesha. Why do I need the comparison, right? Of what comparison? What's the comparison? We have a rule on Friday night, Kiddush, right?
Yeah.
Forget Kiddush on wine, but Kiddush in general. Are women chayiv in Kiddush on Friday night?
Yes.
Midarabanan or midaraisa?
Midaraisa.
Midaraisa. How can you make them chayiv on Kiddush on Friday night? Isn't it a mitzvah say shazman grama?
No, but involved in the losa say
Oh, because we have a rule when there's a losa say and an asay. If you're chayiv in the losa asay, you're chayiv in the asay, right? Right. Okay. So Zochar is Yom HaShabbos L'Kadsho, right? And the Yom HaShabbos has to be sanctified with Kiddush because the Yom HaShabbos Kedusha is brought about by the Isser Malacha. And so, just as women are chayiv in the Isser Malacha, so they're chayiv in the mitzvah of Kiddush. Now it comes to Pesach, they're the same thing.
Right.
On Pesach, right? On Pesach, what are they forbidden to do on Pesach?
You eat chametz.
So therefore, since they're forbidden to eat chametz, there's an issue in which they can only therefore eat matzah. So matzah is the positive mitzvah versus the negative mitzvah of chametz. Since they're chayiv in not eating chametz, ergo, they're going to be chayiv in the mitzvah of matzah, because it says, Sheshes Yomim Tochal Matzah. It says, V'lo se'echol chametz. 6 days you should, or 7 days you should eat matzah, and you can't eat chametz. From this we learn that whoever is not allowed to eat chametz must eat matzah. And just like women are usher in the lo saseh of not eating chametz, they are now chayiv in the asay of eating matzah, even though matzah is a mitzvah asay shazman grama. So Tosfos is bringing up the question here, right? Gabe matzah. When it comes to matzah, yesh maksha. You could ask the following question: Lama li hakesha. Why do I need the comparison of the lo saseh of chametz to the asay of matzah to tell me that women are chayiv to eat matzah? And that akesha is, from the Gemorah Pesachim, the kol sheyeshno bebal tochal chametz, anyone who is involved in not being allowed to eat chametz, yeshno become achol matzah, is involved in the positive commandment of eating matzah. Why do I need that hekesh? Why do I need that comparison to tell me that women are chayiv in the mitzvah of matzah? Even without that hekesh, I would know women are chayiv to eat matzah. Why? Teipaklei mitam. Why can't I learn it out from the reason? Teipaklei means let's derive it from the reason she'ein hayu ba'oso hanes. Oh, just like the arba kosos. Say the same thing by matzah. Why does the Gemara have to bring down a hekesh? That the reason women are chayiv in the eating of matzah is because they're chayiv in the eating of chametz, and just like the negative of chametz is mid-oraisa, so is the positive eating of matzah, the oraisa, and therefore they're chayiv in it. I don't need that hekesh. The Torah didn't have to make a hekesh. Why did Hashem make the hekesh? We could have learned it out from the Rabbanan statement, she'af eino yuba'oso hanes, that they were also involved in the miracle, and that would have been enough to tell us that they are chayiv in the mitzvah of matzah. You hear?
There's only Rabbanan.
What?
That would be only Rabbanan. You chayiv Rabbanan. Because involved in the nace, it's only Rabbanan, not the Raisa.
What are you? Chayiv nace is a mitzvah de Rabbanan?
Yeah. No.
What? You were involved in the miracle. That's a mitzvah de Rabbanan?
No, I mean the mitzvah of Megilah is only Rabbanan, right?
Yeah.
So matzah is the Raisa.
Yeah.
There's difference.
So what would happen?
Yeah, I don't know. You need stronger proof.
Well, you're on the right track. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you look ahead, you'll see it's similar to that. We have to explain what that means. Let's take a look. You're on the right track, Mordechai.
Okay.
Yesh lomar, because you can answer like this. The mishum high timer, because of this time of she'af ein hoyu ba'oso hanes, lo mechayva ela midrabbanon. Oh, that logic is only good enough to make you chayiv midrabbanon on a derabbanon level.
Right.
Ilav meyakesha. If not for the hekesh, I couldn't make you chayiv in a deoraisa due to that af ein hoyu ba'oso hanes. Af ein hoyu ba'oso hanes is able to make you chayiv in a derabbanon.
Right.
How do I know that? How do I know that? Because where am I using that logic? Where am I using it? I'm using it by Hanukkah.
Hanukkah and Purim.
I'm using it by Purim, right? And I'm using it by Dalit Kosos.
Right.
All three of those are the Rabbanon.
Oh.
There is no usage of Af Ein Ba'oso Hanes by a Doraisa.
Right.
Consequently, I would say, based on Af Ein Ba'oso Hanes, only by the Rabbanon, Ilav Me'akesha. That's the first answer. The Rabbeinu Yosef issued a Shalayim T-rates. Oh, Rabbeinu Yosef came from Yerushalayim. He answered the following way. The Salka Daita, the Miftire Migzera, Shava, the Tezvav, the Saga Sukkos. Oh. The 15th day of the month of Nisan is when Pesach begins.
Right.
The 15th day of the month of Tishrei is when Sukkos begins. And the Gemorah in Sukkah, which we're learning on Shabbos, teaches that women are patur from the mitzvah of Sukkah that comes on the 15th. Halacha l'Moshe Misinai. We had a whole discussion in the daf about halacha l'Moshe Misinai.
Not because mitzvah is Grama?
What?
Not because mitzvah is man Grama?
No, only because of halacha l'Moshe Misinai. All right?
Yeah.
Now, what power does halacha l'Moshe Sinai have? Does it have the power of Rabbanon or power of Doraisa?
Doraisa.
It has a power of Doraisa. Give me some examples of halacha l'Moshe Sinai that have the power of the Oraisa. Can you name one? Give me a halacha l'Moshe Sinai that's
Tefillin has to be black.
What?
Tefillin has to be black. Tefillin has to be black.
Yeah, okay, but that's but that's not a mitzvah in and of itself. It's part of a chelik of performing the mitzvah too. All right. What measurement makes you chayiv in benching?
Oh, Gzayas.
Kazayas. There you go. There you go. How do we know? How do we know Kazayas? I don't know Kazayas is the measurement.
What you saying?
Yeah. All the shiurim of eating on Yom Kippur a dried fig, right?
Yeah.
And eating a Kazayas to make Birchas Hamazon or Motzi, all measurements. And we're going to learn tomorrow, by the way, if you tune in tomorrow's daf, you're going to hear another measurement. And I'm going to ask you right now, I'm going to ask you to tell me the source. At what age does a boy become chayiv in mitzvahs?
13.
How do you know that? Where does it say that in the Torah?
Oh, doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say in the Torah.
No.
So, no source? Could it be halacha l'Moshe Sinai?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's mentioned in the Torah.
No, because the measurement.
Oh, measurement.
All shiurim.
15 years. Oh.
All shiurim. How do we know 40 saws in mikveh?
What should say?
By the way, I want you to know that according to some poskim, there is a statement in the Torah that says when you're 13 years old, you're a man.
Really?
Yeah, you'll have a whole night to think about it. We'll see you tomorrow in the daf.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, we'll learn about it in the daf. Okay. But the point is, there are certain things that are halacha l'Moshe Sinai. And here, Tosfos is saying that Rabbeinu Yosef Ish Yisrael Tirates, the Salkat Baitach, the Miftara, Migzeva, Shabbat, the Tezvav, Chag HaSukkos. Just like Sukkos, women are potter from sitting in the Sukkah, halacha l'Moshe Sinai, and the 15th is Tishrei, and the 15th is Nisan, so will women be potter from eating matzah on Pesach because of the comparison to Sukkah. The Perish Perik Elu Ovim, like it says in the Gemorah in Pesachim. Okay, I want to stop this share, or maybe I can get right away to the other one. See if I can get to the other one automatically. Can I get to the other one? I don't think so. We're going to stop this one. I'll come right back. We'll go to the next share. I'm going to get a share over here. It's better work. It worked before. It better work now. It did work before, and it's not working now. Look at this. Oh, here it is. You got it. Okay, it's going to work. Share. Okay, we'll be right there in a second. This is the second share. We'll come right back to that. You go to my box. We're going to get the second share. And I like that. And go to the share. Oop, share. Oop. Wrong one. Share. Now we go here. Oh, I got it right this time. I think so. Yeah, here we go. You see this?
Yeah.
Okay, Simon Tufresh Pay Test. Right?
Yeah.
As it says, can you read it with me, please? Sha'akol chayovin Megilah. Everyone's chayav in the reading of the Megilah. Halacha l'maisa, gentlemen, before we end the shiur. Here we go. Hakol chayovin v'kriyasa. All are chayav in the reading of the Megilah. Anoshim v'noshim v'gerim v'avadim v'shuchrarim. Freed slaves, right?
Yeah.
Umechanchem haktanim lekrosa. And we're chayav to be mechanech, the children, to learn to read the Megilah. Okay? This seems to say that women are chayiv in the reading of the Megillah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next share, and now you're going to see the second one. And here it comes. Now we go back to this share, and we see it over here. There we go. You see this? It's a little different. Oops. I want to get to it. Can you read it? It's not so big. Can't make it too big. I lose it. So when I make it too big. But here it is. Okay, can you read it? Okay, let's go over here. I'll try to make it a little bit larger. Ooh. Why can't I do this? I did it before. Okay. Let me get my glasses because it's a little small for me. 1 second.
Rabbi, could you make it a little bigger?
I'm trying.
Okay.
It's not working.
No, you can stretch the screen. You do it yourself.
What?
You can stretch. You do it yourself.
Oh, I did it now.
Use your fingers to enlarge it.
Now I got it. Okay. There you go. Okay. The Yesh Omrim. Top line here. You see it?
Yeah.
The Yesh Omrim Shanoshim Eino Motzias Es Anoshim. There are those that say that women cannot be motzi men. Okay? That's the Ramah. Okay? Hagav Yeshomim im ha'isha kara la'atzma v'vareches l'shmoa Megilah she'ena chayav b'kliyah, because she's not chayav in the reading. Let's go to the Mishnah Berurah. This we can make a little larger here. Okay. V'yesh omrim she'anashim einam motzios, and there are those that say that women cannot be motzi others. Says the Mishnah Berurah, v'lo dami l'ner Chanukah. It's not the same as ner Chanukah. Can a woman be motzi men in the lighting of the Chanukah candles?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because it's all Rabbanan. Yeah.
It's 100%. But Megilah is also the Rabbanan. Right. So why shouldn't women be able to be motzi the men if it's just like Hanukkah?
But because it's lighting, because
why not?
Even in private, even one on one.
The shiny Megilah, the Hava Kimo Kriyas HaTorah.
I thought so. Okay.
Because it's similar. By the
even
way,
at home, even just husband
by
and
the
wife.
way, that's a very important statement in the Mishnah Berurah, that the reading of the Megilah is like Kriyas HaTorah. And the reason I say it's so interesting is because we know that there's a din about reading the Megilah. And what's that din about missing a word in the reading of the Megilah?
You have to go back.
If you miss one word in the reading of the Megilah, you're not Yotzei with the reading of the Megilah.
Right.
Well, if it's the same as Kriyas HaTorah, then...
So missing one word in Torah, now Yotzei?
Okay, there you go. Okay.
But you are Yotzei, right?
Yeah, well, but I'm trying to show you that Mr. Brewer is being very, very careful with his language over here. And he's telling you that reading of the Megilah is like reading the Torah, and just as one, you don't, so the other.
Is that so?
It's not so?
Right. Wait, if you miss a word in the Torah, you're not Yotzei, right?
Okay, that's what he seems to be saying. But
Okay.
I'm not passing it here. I'm just showing you.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm just showing you how crucial it is to listen to Kriyas HaTorah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there go the rabbis again. You know, I'm doing the rabbi thing. Yeah. Okay. So the shiny Megilah the Ave Kamo Kriyas HaTorah Upsula, and she's puzzled Mipnei, and here these three words are the key. Mipnei Kavod Hatzibur. The reason why we don't have women reading the Megilah in public is because of the kavod of the tzibur. It's not kavod for a tzibur to have women reading the Megilah. It's not kavod for the tzibur to have women rabbis. It's not kavod for the tzibur for a woman to be in any public position whatsoever. Amazing. According to our Chazal, it is not proper. That's enough. That's enough. If the Beis Yosef and the Ramah, if the Gedolei HaTorah say it's not proper, it's not covered of the tzibur, they know what they're talking about. It's not covered of tzibur. And that's a big statement. It doesn't fly in a lot of the liberal positions of the world today. But when it comes to the reading Megillah, it did apply. And Esther wanted nothing more than to not be in that position. And there's a discussion in the Gemorah in a number of places about Esther and Abigail, who were in compromised positions in terms of tznius and how they abhorred it, and whether or not, and we're going to come up to this later on in the Mesechta, was Esther allowed to go back to Mordechai, her husband? Because according to the Gemorah, Esther was married to Mordechai. And if she was forced to live with Achashverosh, isn't that she became an Eshes Ish's Shezinsa and is forbidden to go back to her husband?
No, but Achashverosh wasn't Jewish. He was a guy.
So what?
So he's no Eshes Ish.
What do you mean? She's an Eshes Ish.
Oh, even to a guy. Oh, okay.
She's an Eshes.
Yeah, she's Eshes. Yes.
It's a big discussion. It's a big discussion. Not so simple. Not so simple. Okay. All right. So there we have it for tonight, Abosai. Tonight's Shiur had to do with this fascinating topic of Sha'afein Hoyu Ba'oso Anes. And Yetz Hashem, next week, we're going to continue on with the Gemara, coming up with more very interesting things about the reading of the Megillah and other issues about
Rabbi Yashakoach, and it's great to have you back giving the shiur.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Baruch Hashem. Hashem grant us that we should enjoy each other's company for many years to come.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And Yetz Hashem, Thursday night at 8:30, we have the shiur in the Parsha.
Rabbi, don't forget, don't announce it.
I'm only announcing it here.
I know, but don't announce it by Mincha Marav anymore.
Well, yeah, no, listen. I make mistakes. There we go. Okay, everybody.
We're all human.
I will see you tomorrow. Join us for the daf tomorrow. Fascinating daf.
Yes, okay.
Coming up tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Have to do with chinuch. Wow, unbelievable. Have a great night. See you
great night. Thank you.
Take care, Rabbi. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.